All righty. Well, today it feels like it's about as cold as somebody that don't give a damn if you live in the breeze. 20 degrees outside. And with that, we gonna welcome y'all into another Watch for the Hook Wednesdays with the Watch for the Hook Business and Entrepreneur Podcast. It is Michael with,
Tatiana.
and speaking of cold, you gotta be a cold-blooded person to keep fucking with folks. And when I say fucking with folks, I'm talking about that orange tyrant that's in the White House. So last
I
week,
mean, you can be cold-blooded or you can just simply be persistent, you know?
but see, most people call you persistent when you're doing good
Yeah.
or when you're trying to improve things.
Or you're getting on their nerves.
Yeah, but if you're being persistent in their eyes, you're trying to achieve a goal of substance, maybe.
Typically.
Yeah, you
But
you
when you're just intentionally trying to screw that people over, that's different.
you you just you just you just an asshole.
Yeah, that's different.
But yeah, so I bet y'all like, what the hell they talking about today? So last week, the Orange Tyrant decided to file charges against the man that's over the Federal Reserve. So
All
y'all,
charges against everybody.
yeah, he charging everybody that ain't for him or ain't about putting no money in his motherfucking
Or
pocket.
ain't helping make his people make more money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of people probably like, what the hell they got to deal with me?
Everything.
All right. So the Federal Reserve manager or person that's over the Fed Reserve helps sets the federal rate. So what the federal rate actually does is it tries to stabilize the economy. It makes the dollar worth what the dollar can be worth.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go an example. How does this help, let's say, people in business? So right now, I think the current interest rate for the feds is 3.5 to 3.75%. So if you borrowed $1
Mm-hmm.
from some lending person,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to charge you right now, on average, between 3.5 and 3.75%.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, damn, okay, so if I borrowed $1,
Right.
then I got to pay back $1 and
Do easy math. Just round it up and say 4%, right?
4%. So I got to give you $1.04.
Mm-hmm.
You like, that's it? Yeah,
That's per dollar.
per dollar now.
Per dollar.
So when you get to borrowing hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, or possibly you got that damn good bread. You borrowing a few million.
I ain't got that.
Guess what? That's 4 cents on every
Every
dollar
dollar.
you borrow.
Yeah.
So also that could go into taxes. So that looks at, oh, you have to have a certain tax rate when people buy goods or purchase goods.
Hold on. I think there was a piece you missed, right?
Okay, hit me.
Okay, so you explained the 3.5 to 3.75, and we said for easy math, we just rounded up to 4, right? There's 4 cents on a dollar that you borrow. So if you borrow $1, you now are looking at $1.04, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. What I just really want to make sure they stand out is when you pay that dollar back, you have to pay back the plus 4 cents,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. That's where they make their money.
Okay.
So
I
that's the
needed you to
interest.
spell that out.
Okay, spelling it out. The
Yeah.
Fed rate is the federal interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now that's interest. Now principal. Interest is what loaners or people who are lending companies. That's where they make their money back
Mm-hmm.
plus some. So you signed a dotted line saying, "Hey, I borrow such and such amount of money."
Mm-hmm.
The rate is whatever you pay, the
Mm-hmm.
interest rate. So you're still gonna pay that interest rate. And so if you paying 4% interest on whatever you borrow,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta add 4 pennies to every dollar. You gotta give them back.
Which means you have to take away 4 pennies for every dollar that you've profited. That's coming back
Exactly.
out of your pocket. So now your dollar ain't worth $1 no more. It's worth what? 96 cents.
Tabernacle.
I just needed you to spell that out as like, now you have to go back, pay that principal back plus the interest, right?
Mhm.
That interest is coming off of your profit. And if you didn't profit, it's just coming out of your checkbook.
And then what has happened? So now that we've established you borrowed a dollar for somebody, you got to pay them back $1.04. But
Mhm.
out of every dollar you make, you really only making 96 cents.
Right.
So what have companies started doing? And this is what how companies have what done since damn the beginning of time. They pass along fees and
Yes.
charges to the consumer.
Right.
That's how they then make money.
Mhm.
They have to get back more than what they gotta send out.
Right.
That's for profit business.
Mhm.
All right. So now that we
That's
own,
for profit in my
yep.
pocket.
So now that we own it, you like so right now, why are we at 3.5 to 3.75? Guess what happened 6 years ago? COVID.
Dun, dun, dun.
And because the world shut down, the Federal Reserve had to act because what happens when people are not moving?
No money's moving.
They're not spending money.
Yeah.
That is how an economy is measured. The amount of money spent.
Mhm.
They need you out there being what?
Yes.
Consumers.
They need you to go slide your card.
Spend the buck.
Spend that dollar.
Frequent that businesses. They need you to take trips.
Yeah.
They need you to buy gas. They need you to buy groceries
Yep. Milk and bread and eggs, not just for snow days.
all day. So
Mhm.
when the world came to a standstill,
Screeching
literally,
halt. Screeching halt.
what happened with the money?
It stood still too. It wasn't circulating.
So if the money ain't circulating, the lenders ain't lending, borrowers ain't borrowing, the spenders ain't spending, what do you do? If you're the Fed chairman, that's his actual title, Fed chairman. I got to entice you people to do something.
So you have to serve as a catalyst to get things moving again.
And how do I get things moving again?
Give y'all some money.
Give you a discount.
Mhm.
That's exactly what lowering the federal rate does.
Mhm.
It gives you a discount on purchasing,
Mhm.
lending, borrowing, and investing.
So it looks like you're putting something else back into your pocket without actually giving you a dollar.
Exactly. I'm giving you a perk
Mhm.
for taking your time out to spend this money,
Right.
try to get this money, give somebody money,
Yeah.
or invest in a potential business of making money.
It's all about the dollar. Circulating, matriculating, whatever you wanna call it.
So I bet y'all gonna ask me, what was that Fed rate when they lowered it during
I would
COVID?
like to know, because remember, now we're currently at 3.5, 3.75 for easy math, we just say 4.
They dropped the federal rate to 1.5 to 1.75.
2 whole percent.
I just think about that. In the world of trillions of dollars, because this is what it affects. It doesn't affect 5 to 10. This affects trillions of dollars of circulation. If you give trillions of dollars in discounts, what just happened?
Shit, there's some profit missing. Something ain't happening. That's a
Mm.
lot. That's a lot right there.
So instead of them people making that 4% off your $1,
Mhm.
they
Yep.
now just making a penny.
Mhm. Or 2 if you round up to easy math too. So now your dollar went from being worth only 96 cents to now it's worth 98 cents. So it's stretching just a little bit further.
But guess what happens with all what have we talked about? No good deed goes unpunished.
Oh no, because it's coming.
So when they drastically lowered the federal rate during COVID, people started doing what? Borrowing,
Mhm.
access to capital, all of a sudden became a lot more accessible out of nowhere.
And a lot more businesses.
Exactly. Out of nowhere,
I had to say it.
out of nowhere, everybody got a business.
Everybody a business owner. Everybody an entrepreneur, okay? Everybody is an entrepreneur.
And now, here we come. We about to hit the 6 year mark since COVID.
Yep, in March.
And you look back at it now, and we've seen all the PPP frauds and all the people that's gonna go to jail and all this. That ended up being millions of dollars put into circulation. But what actually did that money do? it wasn't what? Spent.
No.
It was moved,
Mm-hmm.
wasted. Now,
Mm-hmm.
now, now, don't get me wrong. What happened is people bought a bunch of shit they couldn't afford.
Come on, chains.
So then when you default on a loan,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you don't do what?
You don't pay.
All right. Ding, ding, ding,
I
ding,
ain't
ding.
paying.
So the
You
people,
ain't gonna get your money back. My credit can take a hit. I don't care. Cause I ain't got no real business. No way. Ain't no lender gonna give me no money. No way.
well, you do have a real business, but
I'm just
talking in
saying.
general, I know.
Yeah. I'm not me. Them.
So
The
Ms.
PPP fraud.
So Ms. Parker said is the people that before COVID who was waiting on getting that 4 cents on every dollar that they let you borrow,
Mm-hmm.
which then went down to 2 cents to
That's
every
right.
dollar they let you borrow, turned around to be no sense.
None, cause they ain't get their money back.
But you got their money.
Mm-hmm.
So you see now they in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Now we
We
got
getting no sense.
no sense. So it's just like this. No sense means nonsense. If it don't make dollars, then it don't what?
Makes sense.
What happens? Now the feds have to come back and say, fuck you mean?
We gotta recoup some shape, form, or fashion.
We
And now
went
we about to have no sense.
how we pull this balance, it's a balancing act.
Mm-hmm.
So the pendulum has now swung drastically down because hey, we lowered the rate, which means we were already putting ourselves in a bind.
Right.
You know, Natum in a
In a
bind.
pickle. Yeah.
Natum in a bind for those people that know that movie. What happened is now they come back and reconvene. They say, shit, now these suckers ain't gonna give us our money back because we lent our money to a bunch of frauds.
We gotta take it back.
In our P. Diddy votes.
Take that.
So what does the Fed do? We have to raise the rates back up.
Because they control what they control. And that's what they did. You pull them levers where you can.
So when you raise the federal rate drastically and quickly, what has now happened to the economy? People have now started doing what? They holding their dollar.
Right.
So when when the consumers stop consuming again because
Mm-hmm.
now they can't afford to consume.
Right.
That's what you now have is inflation.
Right.
So just think about it. Y'all hear the math. We went from 1.5 to 1.75. Now we at 3.5 to 3.75
That's
on
crazy.
average. That's
Yeah.
just the federal rate. That's not everybody's rate.
That ain't that 30% credit card rate you get. Let me stop.
Listen, honey. Oh, listen. We're gonna talk about that APR one day. I hope everybody got their ducks in a row.
And then got their billing statements ready.
Yeah.
Wow, let
So
me
just
stop.
think about that. The federal rate rose back up 2% since COVID. But what also happened? They started applying the fees, the taxes. Producers then did what? When the Fed rate rose again, what happened? They had to raise prices.
Absolutely, and pass those prices. They're now passing those increased prices along to the consumer.
Listen, me and you, Miss Parker, well, I'm more along the age of understanding when gas was under $1.
That's true.
Gas is a commodity that does not have a endless supply,
Right.
but it is also regulated.
It is.
So what does that mean? They keep a backstop.
Mm-hmm.
They only release a certain amount to the public.
Mm-hmm.
It's with any type of product. Like people, they say women love diamonds. Diamonds are forever. Listen, people, it is so many diamonds in this world. They ain't that high. But what do? They regulate the market by
Right.
only setting out a certain amount.
Supply and demand.
Exactly. And what happens with the Fed rate? It's on supply and demand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When the world stopped, everybody was like, "Ooh, I'm missing this, that."
Right.
And what happened? Supply and demand
Mm-hmm.
went up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They said, "Ooh, we got."
Supply went down, demand went up.
So
If
what did they
if
have to?
supply goes down, demand goes up, it means prices go up.
That's what they had to do. But the Fed lowered the rate because they needed people to spend their money. I made a video a few years ago where I talked about we got duped into inflation because they suckered us in with the lower Fed rate,
Right.
which means we had a demand that we needed to be met. They said, "Oh, well, we'll help y'all spend this money.
Yeah.
It's only for a certain
Yeah,
time."
we're gonna like release some of the ties, or we're gonna remove some of the constraints, or we're just gonna lessen the blows of you being able to spend, you know?
Because right now you're dealing with a blow. You
Mhm.
can't get out and about. You can't move. You got to be confined to a certain space. So yes, they said we'll drop. We'll
Right.
bring it down a few percentage points. We'll take that hit right now.
Right now. Right now. We're gonna recoup later though.
What Miss Parker just said. They hit you with a counter punch.
Mhm.
You ain't see that coming. You ain't watch that hook.
But some of us knew that's kind of the vicious cycle, and that was probably gonna happen anyway.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're issuing out checks. Oh my gosh. They're gonna raise the price of whatever, whatever because of these checks being issued out." Sure enough, eggs went up to be about $20 a carton.
yeah. I'm gonna keep it a real honest bug with you. Our boy Bobby Low Wallace reminded me of something. He put it in the text on the social media thread. He said, "People up here upset about the economy. Y'all must not have been there when Bush was in office." And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I remember that 2007, 2008. People don't even realize that back then companies went to 410s because
Yeah.
gas at that point,
Yep.
which was still under 275,
Yeah.
people were telling them we can't afford to come to work 5 days
Right.
a
I
week.
can give you 2 tanks. I can't give you 3.
What did the companies do? Well, we're gonna adapt to this 410
Mhm.
or this 580 schedule,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
means you work 5 days one week, you off on Friday the
Right.
next. People don't even realize that. Now I
Right.
want to give my guys credit because he did say some real ass shit. Like I say, I like when people
Tap in
tap
like
in and
that.
say that
Yep.
real shit,
Tap
like
in.
because we think social media just erases all history.
No.
Everybody got a whole thesaurus or what you call them things, dictionaries or
Encyclopedia.
encyclopedias
Yeah.
in their hand and won't do no research
And AI will just synopsize it for you now, so
or lie to you
either way,
or tell you a flat out lie.
pick whichever one you want. AI gonna give you some.
And when you think about it, I know when I go back to that economy when Bush was in office, I was one of the people that was laid off because they had to start companies had to start pulling back.
Mhm.
Old adage, we know this last one hired,
First one fired.
child motherfucker got laid off.
Oh,
I was like, motherfucker,
that's so sad.
ain't been here 6 months.
That's so sad.
Out here working my finger to the bone.
That's so sad.
And guess what happened? Oh man, damn, we hired Michael. I remember when I told them folk, I said, if you ain't gonna keep me for 5 years, y'all can leave me where I'm at. Because when I took that job, it wasn't even a pay increase. It was a lateral move.
Right, right, right.
I took on the brunt of putting on more bills on myself, moving somewhere, moving out of state. Like I knew my career needed that. And when you go look at it now, go back and Google the economy when Bush was in office, that second go around. Yeah, it was terrible,
Right.
terrible. But now where we at right now with the economy? We got a whole orange tyrant trying to take us back to terrible. Like, folks, we on the verge of terrible.
I don't know that we're on the verge. I think, hell, we done been there, we came back, and we heading there again. Like, is it really on the verge when you almost feel like you never really came out of it?
See, you make a good point. You almost basically said bad is so bad we are normalizing it.
Yes. You get numb.
It's- Social media, I've said this for some time now. Social media has put it in our faces so many times that we're used to it.
Right.
Or it gives you so many stories you feel overwhelmed. Because back in the day, it was just the local newspaper. I
Right.
think everybody was just in that local circle. And then you watch the national news and you got a few stories. But every day, if you are on social media, you have the potential to come across
Mhm,
thousands
mhm.
upon thousands of stories or tidbits or things. And you're like, this all really been going on this
Mhm,
long?
mhm.
And you start scratching your head like, damn, what am I supposed to do with all this?
Sometimes you have to ask, and I oftentimes ask myself this, "What rock have I been hiding under?"
Hey, what you always say? You be like, when I became a business owner, I figured out why don't everybody in the business owner.
Yep,
You was like, this shit was easy. Everybody do it.
everybody would do it.
It ain't easy.
It's not easy.
Even just talking about this type of stuff. Man, Miss Parker could listen. Y'all want to have a math class?
Oh my god, I was about to say, this is like a whole math
We
equation.
we've talked about the math and the
Yeah.
math. One day, me and Miss Parker could seriously just tell y'all about how we just in the real estate business alone. Y'all, this math is really math.
It's a lot.
And in that math, you have to work the math.
You do.
Like, don't get it twisted. When we talking about this Fed rate stuff, we making it sound really simple. No, no, no. Listen, what these people are doing and how they're moving their numbers, they're affecting trillions of dollars. This ain't affecting like some
Right.
thousands.
No.
No,
It's a whole bunch of commas and zeros.
we talking what a million is what 7 digits before the decimal.
Mhm.
All right, so move that
Yes.
6 more. I think a trillion is 6 more
Yeah,
digits.
'cause you have to surpass billion.
Yeah, because a billion I think is 9 zeros.
Yeah.
So you add another comma, that gets you to 10 digits
Mhm.
before the comma. So just think about that. And we ain't talking about 1 trillion.
Right.
The US deficit is what, 3 trillion?
Yeah.
3.5, almost
Like
4?
a lot of commas and zeros.
Like, shit. I'm telling you, listen, this we just think this shit funny because we be over here giggling and laughing like, man, I don't know what the fuck that mean. But then you go look at your paycheck.
Your calculator starts to run out of spaces.
Look at your paycheck. People think it's a game.
Yeah.
Man, hold up. When they start taking this much,
Right, right.
that's the Fed rate. Oh, y'all don't know about that Fed rate? They moved it
Right,
up or down,
right,
back and forth,
right.
like old Leah song. Go back,
No,
back
no,
and
no.
forth. Oh yeah,
Mm-mm.
R.I.P. to Leah. Her birthday is this month too. I think it was just this past week. But like I say, I'm a '90s guy, so I understand the music. But we just wanted y'all to just understand. We talk this talk because simple fact is it affects us. It affects us, whether you in business or not. So I mean, if you want to sit here and be like, man, I don't care about that Fed rate.
Don't care.
All right, don't care. But I'm tell
You
you, it's care about you.
right, you ain't gotta care.
You want to own a business, you want to buy a business. Let's just even not even say business. When we talk about becoming homeowners, buying cars, trucks, whatever ATVs, whatever you want to do, that Fed rate affects the amount of interest these companies can charge you. So when you be like, man, it wasn't that price 6 months ago.
Mhm.
9 times out of 10, the rate moved. You know why the rate moved? Because somebody said we need more or we need less.
Right.
Miss Parker, what you got for the people as we get ready to
Listen,
lead up on out of here?
I don't have anything. I hope they paid attention to all the math we were talking about.
Hey, what they said, don't make dollars, don't make sense. Get y'all next time.